Hey, customers, welcome back to another episode of Fast Film, where we cover all the news and reviews just for yous. This week, we're covering October 17th through 24th. So let's get into some trailers. First trailer this week is Ridley Scott's new epic, Napoleon. They got a full length trailer drop this week. It looks awesome. Joaquin Phoenix is playing Napoleon. You know, he's usually amazing in anything he does. I'm sure this will be some Oscar bait. That's coming to theaters on November 22nd.
And Hulu released a new trailer for a movie called Obituary, and it's about a small town obituarist, I guess is what they're called. Not exactly sure, but who turns to killing people when work gets really slow. I'm getting kind of a Dexter ripoff coming out soon. It's going to be releasing November 21st.
And then we got a trailer from Nickelodeon and Paramount. It's for their new animated feature. It's called Under the Boardwalk. It's going to be starring Kiki Palmer and Michael Cera. They're playing hermit crabs that are like from different sides of the hermit crab, railroad tracks, I guess. One's a tourist, one's a townie. They're going to be beefing. Then they're going to be friends. It's a kid's movie. It's going to be out on November 7th.
Did you say one's a terrorist?
One's a townie and one's a tourist.
Oh, this is a terrorist.
Oh, that's Randy.
All right. And we got a new trailer for a movie called Anyone But You. And I don't know. I can't say much about this movie. It just looks like some stupid rom-com movie. It looks kind of fucking dumb. But if you want to see it, it's going to be releasing December 22nd in theaters.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier. It looks like a very generic plot, but it doesn't make sense
It
why they have
doesn't.
to like each other in this. So
No.
it looks pretty bad.
Looks
But
stupid.
anyway, Netflix dropped a trailer for their game show that's coming out called Squid Game: The Challenge. It's based on the very popular Korean show. If you didn't watch Squid Game, that's actually a great show. I don't know how you didn't watch it. Definitely going to check this out. I do wish they were actually getting killed and make it a lot more entertaining. That's going to be coming out on November 22nd.
Just Netflix starting to murder people.
Yeah, why not? Already murdering us with them fucking prices. Anyway.
God, fuck them. So we got another trailer for not the show, not a spinoff, but a video game for The Walking Dead Destinies. And this one made me feel like I had dementia for a second. I don't know who it was that was talking, but then we also have like a bunch of scenes of glitching and like the characters from famous scenes getting switched out with different characters. I was having a fever dream, but I'm excited for this one when it comes out.
And then we got a trailer for Ferrari. So Adam Driver is going to be playing Enzo Ferrari in this new biopic from Michael Mann. I'm sure this is going to be some Oscar bait. He's probably going to get nominated. Doesn't matter. He's not going to win. I'll be checking it out when it's in theaters on Christmas Day.
I feel like you have like 3 or 4 things today about Oscar bait.
Definitely. Definitely. We'll get into that for sure.
Yeah. And A24 released a trailer for a film called The Zone of Interest. Now, the trailer doesn't really show much. It just shows a bunch of small clips of a family mixed in with clips of reviews of the movie about how great it is. But looking further into it, and it's about a family trying to live their dream life in a house with a big garden right next to a concentration camp. So it's going to be about Nazis, but it looks interesting. Trailer only says coming out soon, so we don't know exactly the release date. But here's some headlines.
Yeah, did you ever see the boy in the striped pajamas? That's another like living next to a concentration camp movie.
No, I never
It's
saw
very,
it. I
very
remember the
sad.
kid with the pajamas, though. I remember
Yeah.
seeing the picture of him.
Yeah. So for headlines this week, first one looks like the police in London are now joining the domestic violence case that's going up against Jonathan Majors. If you haven't been watching Loki this season, Jonathan Majors is killing it as Kang. I mean, he's just awesome as an actor. I really like this guy. So I hope it's not true that he's, a domestic violence person, but it seems like he's an abuser. Kind of sucks, but we'll see what happens with this case.
Oh, man, that shit sucks.
Yeah.
For both ends.
For everybody. It's just bad in general.
Yeah, but Paramount has delayed Mission Impossible by almost a year from the release date of June 28th, 2024 to a new spot on May 23rd, 2025. So almost by a whole year. They also did move the prequel to A Quiet Day. That's going to be called A Quiet Day Day 1. And that went from releasing from June 28th, 2024 to March 8th, 2024. I hate when they move things, but when it comes sooner, it's better.
Yeah. So we got a release date for Amazon's new series. It's going to be about the Fallout video games. Those games are super popular, so hopefully the show's actually going to be pretty good. That's going to be coming out on April 12th of 2024.
And Tyler Perry and Netflix have signed a multi-year first look deal where Tyler Perry is going to be writing, directing, and producing features for Netflix. Not exactly sure. I'm a little confused on what it means by first look deal. I don't know anything about that.
Means
But
they look at it first, and if they want to pass, they can go to somewhere else with it.
oh no shit. Okay, that's
Yeah.
pretty kind of cool then. So it's like you're the first ones I go to, but then if you don't like it,
I can go
up.
somewhere else with my shit. Yeah.
Ah, okay, that's not that bad. That's pretty cool then.
Yeah.
Go Tyler Perry. But with reviews, I'll start off with Neon. So I never really heard about Neon, and then once I did see the trailer for it, I was not into it at all because I do not like the music genre of reggaeton, and that's what it's about. But I actually ended up thoroughly liking this one a lot. So it's the main character. His name is Santi. He's an up and coming singer of reggaeton coming out from. They don't say actually. I don't think they say where, but they're moving to Miami. Him and his two friends. One's his manager, the other one's creative director, and the shit they get into, the things that the humor in this show, I ended up really liking this. One thing I don't know is the artists in reggaeton. So all the people that are supposedly famous in the show, I can't tell if they're real artists or not because Daddy Yankee's in it, and then all these other people, I don't know who the fuck they are. But it is dope. If you want to check it out, it is on Netflix.
Yeah, so Netflix released another show this week. It's called I Woke Up a Vampire. I'm definitely not the target demographic for this show. I was only able to get through the first episode. It's about a 13-year-old girl. She wakes up and she's got powers now. She thinks she's got superpowers, but she's really half vampire. The acting's bad. The visual effects are bad. I guess for a kid's show, it's fine. It's a nope from me. Might be something for some kids that they would like it. But a couple weeks ago, we recommended some kids' horror movies. I think you're better off going back to that episode and seeing what we recommended and watching one of those instead of wasting your time with this show. It's a no.
He sounds like a child version of What We Do in the Shadows.
Not even.
Well, I mean, the person turns out to only be half vampire.
Yeah, it's fucking bad. Whatever. It's a kid show.
I don't even think I've ever heard of it.
Yeah.
But Netflix, one of many things that released recently, like fucking Neon, it's a Netflix show. But Old Dads on Netflix is with Bill Burr, who wrote and directed this movie. And I just gotta say, this whole movie is basically Bill Burr just shitting on the new generation of today's society. And I'm all down for it. It's fucking hilarious. They make fun of new parenting skills that people are going with now to fucking electric scooters, which I've never rode, by the way. So sad I've never done one of those. But it is hilarious. It's funny. The shit they get into, it's kind of like an old dad hangover kind of movie. But if you want to check it out, it is on Netflix.
Yeah, we're going to become a Netflix podcast specifically for these next couple of things. So Netflix released a murder mystery show this week. It follows 4 different detectives and 4 different time periods investigating the same murder. Concept's pretty interesting because they're traveling through time and you're seeing these different perspectives on the same murder for throughout hundreds of years essentially. So that was really cool. I like the first episode a lot. If you're looking for a good mystery show, I can recommend this to you. It's a dope.
So, The Devil on Trial is a new documentary released from, you guessed it, Netflix. And it's where a suspect in the 80s claimed demonic possession for a murder that he got caught committing. So if this sounds a little bit familiar, it's because The Conjuring did this already. They took the original story and then they made it into a film back, I think, in 2021. And just by that, I did not like this movie at all. I didn't like the first Conjuring film about this, and this is the documentary. It feels like what I spoke about last week about these horror interviews where they reenact all these scenes. It's exactly like that. It's no bueno. Don't check out either one. They're not good. It's a nope. But if you want to and you want to put yourself in that shit, it's on Netflix. But also,
I was gonna say, you got Captain Laserhawk.
I was trying to remember who released this, but how could I forget? Captain Laserhawk comes from Ubisoft and Netflix. It's a Blood Dragon remix, which I don't really know much about the Far Cry lore, but I do know they released a video game, a small game of it called Blood Dragon from Ubisoft, from a Far Cry game. But this show, I couldn't really see much connections to it aside from being the name and also from Ubisoft. It's not my style of show. It is very anime-y, and it turns out, not that I'm against this, but the main characters are gay. And then when I was watching, I'm like, oh, these dudes are badass. And then they start making out. I'm like, oh, fuck, that threw me off. But that's okay. But I just couldn't get into it.
Jerking it.
I couldn't get into it. There is a lot of cameos from fucking different Ubisoft games, like Rayman's in it. And we have Chris Rhodes, who's a wrestler. I don't know why he's in it. He gets his head blown off in the first episode, but not my cup of tea. I'm gonna say it's a nope, but it's on Netflix if you want to check that one out.
Yeah, so there was the first episode of the new season of Rick and Morty started on not Netflix, actually. It's on Adult Swim. So I was kind of curious to see how it was going to be with Royland being booted from this show as well. First episode just kind of shows like Mr. Poopy Butthole, if you know if you know who that character is. After he got shot, he went on this downward spiral. Yeah. So as usual, Rick and Morty's a good show. I mean, it's not as good like the last couple seasons, in my opinion, haven't been as good as like the first couple seasons were, but it's still going to get a dope from me.
Can you tell the difference in the voices now still?
Not really.
No, they all sound
Uh,
the same. I feel like it's kind of
yeah.
a name, a voice people can easily do.
Yeah. They did a good job of recasting it.
Yeah. But HBO Max, surprisingly not Netflix again, released a new show called Scavengers Reign, and it's about a spaceship missing, and the spaceship is named the Demeter, which sounds very similar. I mean, it is the same name as the Dracula one we just watched, but I wonder if it's going to have any more connections to it later on. But it's so this ship has been missing for like a month or more already, so a lot of the things that characters are doing in it are kind of confusing. Like they go from fucking cutting open animals for light source to fisting another animal to inflate like a balloon and fly away. It was weird, but I'm pretty into it. It was very kind of like the art style of Studio Ghibli, which I'm also down for, but it's kind of like that, but a little bit more fucked up. It's a dope. It's gonna be on HBO Max.
That's cool. So the big movie this week in theaters is Martin Scorsese's new film, Killers of the Flower Moon. I'm gonna be honest, I'm a huge fan of Scorsese, but seeing that like 3.5 hour runtime, I was like, there's fuck,
No fucking way.
I was dreading going to the theater. And I can't believe like I'm disappointed in myself for questioning it at all. This movie is nonstop, like it's got something going on all the time. The 3 hours actually runs really fast. I'm so glad I saw this movie in theaters. The story, which I've like never heard of personally, is like an important one to hear about them killing the Osage people because they were like super wealthy and trying to get their land rights for the oil. I'm guessing this movie's going to get at least 10 Oscar nominations. Lily Gladstone, she's a lock for Best Actress this year. Don't let the runtime intimidate you at all, like it was doing for me. Like, just go see it. It's a dope for sure. It's worth checking out. I mean, I could sit here and name the 10 different categories, but it's going to get nominated for 10. Like, it's going to get cinematography. It's beautiful. It's a great movie. Go check it out. It's a dope for sure, Luis. We have deep cuts. So for deep cuts this week, we're just kind of going with some more horror movies since it's October. So mine is going to be Barbarian. It's a horror movie that came out last year. It's really stuck with me. So just like the quick synopsis on IMDb, because I don't really want to give you too much with this. It's a woman is staying at an Airbnb, discovers that she has rented it, and is not what it seems. Justin Long, who's going to show up at some point in the movie, puts on a great performance, and I think he's actually become one of the better actors in Hollywood when it comes to horror movies. You can see this streaming on HBO Max. I definitely recommend it.
I love how the trailer they released for that one too was another Justin Long trailer or
Yeah.
some shit like that.
Well, dude, and then it was like perfect. The opening of that movie is hit the girl and the guy who played it, one of the Scars guards, and you're just
Yeah.
like you just assume it's gonna be something weird with him because he's fucking
Hmm.
it, and then it just pivots and it's
It's
fucking awesome. It's a great
it's
movie.
insane. Yeah.
Go check it out.
But for my pick, I'll be picking 2018's Overlord. And when I first heard about this movie, I was really into it, all because the rumors were behind it that it was going to be another Cloverfield project, so I was going to connect it to those movies, and then I was super excited. But it never fruition into that, and but it still went great. I mean, it's a fun movie. It's literally about a group of soldiers, I believe in World War II, that get stuck behind enemy lines, and now they have to fight Nazis on crazy ass steroids. It's insane. If you want to check it out, it is on Paramount Plus. But once again, customers, thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys have seen any of the things we've talked about, or any of the top, or any of the reviews, or whatever the fuck you guys want, to let us know in the comments. Please like and subscribe.
You just wanted to learn more about the monkey, didn't you, in Overlord?
Yeah, that was juice. It's not a monkey. Where did Randy go?
He left.